Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 New Order Germany. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So we got a few civilian factories. What do we want to do with you? Maybe upgrade our prisons? I mean, I think I've seen probably maybe hospitals are at the lowest. You know, let's upgrade a handful of hospitals here, which are you. So let's get some of these just kind of built up. Do not build them in Netherlands though. We absolutely do not care about Dutch healthcare whatsoever. Okay, so we can ignore you. We have another army basically ready to go. Where do I assign you guys? That's a great question. Also, you actually have too many units. So let's send one of these tanks over to purple. And the rest of you, I guess we'll put you on the border with Kazakhstan. That seems kind of okay. All things considered, so we'll draw an offensive line here. That looks good. You guys are looking good. Everything's looking pretty much as nice as possible. And what we were doing last time is that we're trying to unite a lot of countries against Japan. We have Iran, we've got Afghanistan, we've got India. A lot of people who just are not big fans of the Japanese Empire. And that's good. People have also been telling me to do some more of the economy focuses. You know what? After we get our way down to the heights for the ages, where we try to infiltrate our way into China, we can do a handful of economy focuses before we get our way down into deploying some nuclear weapons in the Indian Ocean. That sounds great. Now, Japan's going to hate it. The United States is going to hate it. But that's okay. Tension at 75%? What could possibly be going wrong there? Okay, we'll send these troops over to Iran. What's the hotkey for this one again? Not for you, for you. Is there actually not a hotkey for offensive line? It's a little bit surprising. We'll get these offensive lines going, though. Okay, not that we're going to invade Iran, but just so we can have some troops in the area, just in case. Okay, we've got, an anti-Japanese film. The origin of film's mastery often lies in its propaganda. Take The Birth of a Nation in America, a very clearly racist film. You're responsible for the many modern film techniques that really modernize cinema. As such, while many of the countrymen are now seeing Xenia as a thinly veiled anti-Japanese propaganda pick, it is genuinely innovative in general and enjoyable picture. Moving away from Bollywood's obsession with romance films, Sajir is a dark and gritty film drama. The lead actor, Abid Bachchan, proved himself to be a versatile actor, but he really isn't the star of the show. The film is garnered a controversy for its portrayal of the settings, that being Japanese-occupied India. Corruption is utterly rampant, and most of the police are useless. Boken's colleagues in the police force, mostly Japanese, revel in cruelty and are hopelessly corrupt, making lavish purchases off the bribes they accrue over time. It's worth noting that film's propagandic tendencies get much more noticeable as the film goes on. When the protagonist is arrested, the prisons are a horribly gritty depiction of life under the Japanese. With barely any food for the prisoners, and unbelievable Japanese horrors and laughable attempts at being brutal for brutality's sake. Of course, most people don't think of nuances like the portrayal of Japanese and pointing out propaganda in this film. As this film ends, credit roll, a big light letter shall come, a real portrayal of life in Japanese-occupied India. May you return them and rejoice in peace. Overall, Sanjir is an excellent film, and I look forward to seeing the future of the director and their actors. And like much of India, I look forward to seeing us being reunited with our countrymen who lie underneath the Japanese. So I'm guessing, India is not a big fan of Japan right now. Japan probably is not a big fan of the film, because that doesn't affect us. I believe that is anti-Japanese rhetoric minus 40. I think that's going to be against India, but I'm not too sure. Okay, so you're about halfway done, and then you give me a nice special operations. Actually, how far is our research going in our special operations? Currently at 60%. We have our 1970 infantry equipment. What else do we want? We might as well get some more 1970 stuff. We're already getting you researched. Supply range was 4%. You know what? Sure, why not? Sounds good to me. Let's send you to the border of Iran. And we can upgrade our, not you. We can upgrade our infantry equipment, right? So we get the 1970 equipment. Advanced infantry equipment. Oh, yeah, no, that's not actual technology, or nothing we can actually use in here. Is there anything we're low on? It looks like we're low on tanks somewhat, so we'll build some more tanks there. Fantastic. And deploy you to the border of Iran. Once that's all said and done, I don't know where we're going to want to deploy more units. Okay. Heist for the Ages. It was a grand bright day in Delhi. It was a wonderful place to hold a meeting against Japan, being the capital of multiple empires, an overall large city, and centrally positioned enough to ensure easy access for the Iranians and the Afghanis. Bormann had no such nuances in mind when selecting Delhi for the meeting, however. He simply thought the capital of the largest country would be suitable. The meeting was, to be fair, a bit of a mess. The rest of the attendees seemed to give us as much mind and nuance as Bormann did. Liquor flowed like rivers, and though some of the attendees did not have much affection for Indian booze, they did have an affection for escaping from the boring meeting through the path of alcohol. There were some very colorful characters. An Iranian representative met with a Fuhrer and talked about how it was nice to speak with one Aryan to another, to the next, confusing him. When the Indian representative said the same thing, he quickly began to regret the amount of alcohol present at the conference. The few real discussions being had would most likely be completely forgotten the next morning. In short, it was no real recipe for success. The one meaningful moment of the night was late, when it was coming to a close. The Fuhrer stumbled on stage, flanked by bodyguards. There he gave a short but memorable speech. We're all gathered here today in the hopes that one day the continent of Asia will be free from the Japanese. A roar of applause from the audience. At least they could all agree on one thing. Okay, we get stability, we get political power. Everybody likes us. Afghanistan, Iran, and India will get their own events as well. And we got ourselves a new agent. Now, I don't think they're going to join the Eintracht. As nice as that would be. You should join the Eintracht, though. Things are really popping off over here in Germania. Let me just tell you that. Okay, so we have 7 agents. Let's just keep on getting more agents. I might as well, right? Might as well. Which one are you? Oh, yeah. You require us to get NAVConf training, which might take a while. Because this... Only 2.5% per week. It does take almost a year to get any of these researches done. And there's like 10 of them. Like, it'll take you a long time to actually finish up the entire tree here. Now, the question is really, what does this special focus need? Because that'll probably be what we research next. Because then we also have, the bug political enemies, which you cannot do because we don't have the bugs. We can't employ satellites. We don't have the satellites researched. Only being able to do one thing at a time is a little annoying. Can I get you guys underneath a new field marshal? Do we have another field marshal? Yes, we do. Fantastic. And I have so much... Actually, I should check in here. Are you guys all opposed to me? Or allied to me, I should say? Yeah, no, I mean, everybody's still looking pretty happy with us. We have so much political power that... Again, nothing here really worries me. Who's actually the most powerful factions? It's now the people in the party bureaucracy, which... I mean, both of them are still pretty much aligned completely with us. So I'm happy with that. Big thumbs up from Bormann. Let's just blow you over here as well. And a heist for the ages. Okay, so yeah, we'll do a handful of economy stuff. Handful of economic focuses here. Okay, now we need to get ourselves back to Theater 1. We need to assign ourselves another general. Now, where do I deploy you? It's a very, very good question because I genuinely don't really know. Are you, not you. Okay, you're good with where you're at. You're good with where you're at. I mean, I guess we could deploy you in the north against this province here. Or I could shrink you down until you're green. I bet you... Can you stretch out to your green? Not really. But we'll do it like this, and then we'll send you up towards this front. I think that seems basically okay. So for our operation in China, what do we need to have? We need to have Sonderblind Funkgeist, which is you. So we need radios. Budget 75 million for the expertise, which we do have. Reduce expertise loss from failed missions. There's genuinely just too many things to research. Because this still has 2.5, 10, 12 more weeks until this is finished. So this will probably be finished in like January. Okay, Angola has defeated the communist in Africa. That is fine by us. Now, I don't think anybody in Africa is really friendly towards us. Which, I mean, it's understandable. I mean, other than, you know, other than, like, the Boers, Madagascar, and Leopoldsville over here. But they don't really count, right? Like, that's not who we're talking about when we're talking about friendly African states. Like, of course, they're friendly with us. It's everyone else that I'm more concerned with. By the way, is there any wars going on right now? Or is the world at peace at the moment? Okay, everybody seems to be at peace. There's no wars going on right now. I mean, that sounds quite nice. And I don't believe there's any conflicts for us to get involved with in either. So, I mean, overall, it's a fairly peaceful time here in Europe and in the world at large. Now, you should unlock. Invest in domestic infrastructure. Cost us $200 million. Yeah, I literally don't see a reason not to. I have so much money. Well, I say... GDP is 287. Our growth rate is at 8.5% annually. That seems pretty good. Yearly deficit GDP ratio is negative 12.1%, which I think that is a positive. I mean, how is the economy doing on the macro scale? Inflation at 1.51%. Honestly, that's not bad at all. Can I switch any of you? Fresh off the presses. 20% off inflation rate. I mean, we were actually in the late 60s, early 68. We actually had a little bit of deflation. I mean, our GDP has just been going up and up. We've gained like $30 billion this last year alone. 10% I'd say is pretty goddamn good. Real GDP growth 8.5%. Hell yeah. Fight poverty. We could try to fight poverty. Poverty is pretty bad, right? In Germany. Population grew by 4.5 million. Trade's going up. Poverty's at 49%. You know what? Maybe we do want to try to fight poverty. Money creation. I literally don't think we need to create any money. Revenue 50. We're spending more than we're earning. Military austerity, civilian austerity. I mean, every new unit that we train, is that costing us money? It probably is. Why is our naval expenditure so high? No, I mean, it's not that high. It's like $2 billion. It's not that bad. Healthcare effectiveness, admin expenditures, science expenditures, research gain. I mean, we could try to just increase, yeah, let's increase social spending a little bit. That sounds okay. Extremely high deficit. It's not that. 96.7%. That's not that bad. Critical debt, inflation crisis, negative real growth. I would say overall things are looking okay. I mean, again, 96.7% in like 2023, that would be considered pretty goddamn good. Rome of the North increases income by 0.25. Let's look at our new friends, the corporate solution. Fully centralized. We're very, very, very centralized right now. Cameroon has collapsed into civil war. That's fine. That's more than okay. But we want to see if we can bring our poverty rate down at least a little bit. Ooh, we can wipe out 112% of humanity. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah. So Cameroon has... Is Cameroon still socialist? They are not. Another conflict's broken out. Are any of you socialist? Who's the remaining of the Revolutionary Front? Maybe it's not actually any of you. Which I mean is fine. Like, we don't really care what's happening in sub-Saharan Africa. I don't believe we can like intervene at all. Doesn't really look like it. So that's fine. If they all want to kill each other, they can all kill each other. It's not a big deal. Brecker had a feeling that this would happen. It had woken him in the night, sending chills down his spine. In his pajamas, he rushed over to his gallery. His suspicions were confirmed. The raid 2 weeks ago hadn't been the last. Roman coated the walls and floors. The entire gallery was a mess. Brecker couldn't tell which dust used to belong to which sculpture. Disrupted, the sculptor began to aimlessly wander around the gallery, hoping for some modicum of relief. Instead, he only saw more destruction. Most of the sculptures were intact, thank God, but many of them were completely destroyed. Goebbels' bust was gone, leaving only the empty pedestal. Breckert expected this of the Fuhrer. The bust of the late Reichsmarschall was also destroyed. Again, another expected to move. But why Zenkampfer and Die Schuren? They were merely representatives of the strength of the Reich. There weren't even a slight indication that they were to support a spear of Göring. Breckert puzzled over the ruins of what felt like hours, attempting to work out the Fuhrer's reasoning. He couldn't. Breckert shook his head and left the gallery. You can always make new art for Bormann later. Maybe things will settle down. Hey, but we do have 9 more units. We'll send you over to this army here. And I think at least right now, this is going to be a good time for us to end off this episode. So if you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not doing, thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.